Bill? Oh, is she okay? What's up? Oh, great. Oh, good. Okay, well, I've started recording already, so thanks for letting me know and give my best to Madeline. Oh. Well, I wish you were here to do that. Okay, bye-bye. Bill.
Morning, David.
Morning, Bill. How are you?
Okay.
Continuing to improve?
Yes, it's very gradual, but yes, it's getting better. Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah. I should update with you quickly. I saw the surgeon last week that did the hernia. He fixed 7.
7.
7. Yeah.
Whoa.
He said that was an amazing thing. He said, I did 3 on your right side, 3 on your left side, and 1 on the umbilical. I said, 7?
Indeed.
Well, I probably looked like a quilt in there.
Oh, jeez. Well, hopefully you won't do that again.
Right. Yeah, I think even when I'm all healed up, I'm going to be extra careful.
Good. Well.
Hey, Adam.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
How's it going?
How are you, Adam?
All right.
I see. What does that mean?
Oh, just busy.
Ah,
Stuff going on all the time.
finally got your father over here this week.
Oh, you did?
Well, last week. And been waiting for the estimates he was going to call me with. I'm recognizing that with your father, it's good to be in touch.
Yeah, you gotta stay on that guy.
He's good though. I was impressed that he really seemed to know what he was doing.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Dealing with a
Windows.
work thing constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I mean, he's probably one of the best out there, but you just got to stay on him. He's got a lot going on. He's never been one for being, I don't know, too organized or getting back to people.
Well,
I wonder if that's where Andrew gets it.
Could be. I did say hello to Andrew for you.
Oh, yeah, pretty good.
And he said to say hello back.
Nice.
So at least you're both
Yeah,
out there.
he's out there somewhere.
Hi, Joanne.
Good morning, David.
Joanne.
Good morning, Bill. Nice to see you. Hi, Adam. I don't see you, but I hear you.
Here.
Adam. Oh, there you go.
Bye.
Scooch into the back.
Mr. Bynum is taking his wife to the doctor this
Oh, right.
because
thing, right? Yeah, right. He
Knee-
said that
the
last
knee.
week.
replacement.
Oh, knee replacement. Oh, bigger than I think. Okay. Yep, yep. He did say
Doing
that
well
last week.
apparently, but
Good.
this is a follow-up appointment they have,
Yep, yep.
so.
It's catching.
He's catching, I know. Yes.
Well, keep it away from me.
I'm trying not to go that route, but yeah, yeah.
Good. So. Any important news to share? No.
No.
Adam
What's
says,
important?
Adam says no.
No, we don't, yeah, we don't want to go there. We want to come here and leave that world behind us.
Oh, God. Don't we wish we could?
Don't we wish we could, yes, but there are, yeah, we can keep it at the other end of the door for now, so.
Right, right. Okay. I'm with you. Good. I understand that the Ting Shaw does not do anything on Zoom.
Well, you could, I actually heard it today more than last week. Last week it felt broken. It was like, oh, where is it? I heard it a little bit today, yeah.
Oh, good. So, questions, issues. How's your spine working?
Better than usual.
Better than usual.
Better than you.
Yeah, I think so.
Uh-huh, okay.
I am, yeah, I think I thought, because I've been working on this for a while, you know, that I was clear, I am clear about the crane neck, but I think that there are times, this might fall into the flow more than this one, where I'm like, oh, I'm bending back too much. I don't think I bend back at all. So I think just being more aware of it makes me correct it more.
Yeah.
But I don't have any particular questions other than, that observation that it's good to hyper focus on a piece of our, on a piece as this whole class has been really to help us, correct it and then get it more into our bodies and our body memory.
Good.
Yep.
Bill?
No, it's just an ongoing business of how to practice and how to work things from the waist on up.
Oh, only that.
Because I really can't do much, certainly squatting is out of the question now for the next, couple months, and
Yeah,
bending is even problematic right now.
yeah. That's true. I should have thought of that.
Well,
Although just doing what you can, even seated, is actually helpful for the spine.
yeah, I mean, I can at least go up and down for, from the thoracic and the cervical, area, even if I can't get much to the lumbar. So
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be careful of that area still.
yeah.
Okay. So we'll explore that later. When we think about alignments and connecting the nervous system in movement 5, there are many ways you can look at it. You can, you begin by getting your mind inside your body, and then you get your mind to move inside your body. Because when you get your mind to move inside your body, your chi is going to move inside your body. So now there is a second issue. What if you still can't really quite get your mind inside your body, and then move your mind inside your body to move your chi? Then what you should do is, before you start, for a little bit, just stand and dissolve. Ice to water, water to gas. And do it for at least a minute or two, because that can loosen up your mind or make the connection between your mind and your body stronger. And then you could have your mind go inside your body, and you can move your mind through your body, and then you can move your chi. Now, what we're really going to focus on today is upper back breathing, the fifth part of Taoist breathing, longevity breathing. Number one was the diaphragm and belly, which classically was just called belly breathing.
Mhm.
Number two, side breathing. Breathing from the lower back is 3, and kidney breathing is 4. And now we're going to look at number 5, upper back breathing. Now, a part of this, which will be counterintuitive to many people, especially if they have done a lot of yoga, is there are 2 ways that people can breathe with their chest from one simple point of view. One is that they puff out the chest, and in the process of doing that, the intention is that as the lungs expand, the chest will move with them. Now, upper back breathing is different. You do not puff out the front of the chest. It is not a military chest. It is not yoga chest. In upper back breathing, the front of the chest completely relaxes and drops, so that the chi from the crown of your head can drop to your belly. The movement of the back is backwards. Your lungs expand back towards your spine. Now, the lungs are pretty much a mindless device. They are bags. If you fill them with air, the bags will go in whatever way you fill them. There are 3 ways they can go. The first one, the back stays still and the chest expands forward and back. And that is the military breathing, yoga breathing, and gymnastics breathing. The second way that can happen is that from the middle of the lungs, you can have them expand backwards and forwards at the same time, and then come back to the middle. And that also is not what we're going to be doing. The way we're going to do upper back breathing is that the front of the chest is going to stay still, and your lungs are going to move backwards. A part of what this is going to allow is that the pressure from the lungs coming toward your heart and the pressure of your breathing coming from your belly and diaphragm are going to end up coming right into the heart and massaging it. And this is something that is done in Taoist breathing that is not done in yoga breathing. Now, I mentioned earlier that upper back breathing, which, when it goes in conjunction with belly breathing, actually massages your heart. But most people's breathing is poor in general. And when you breathe with the upper back, it makes it a lot easier to recognize if you're breathing well or not. If you watch Most people have about a 4-second breath, 2 seconds inhale and 2 seconds exhale. If they're really good, they have a 3-second inhale and a 3-second exhale. But that is bad breathing. That is equivalent to a monkey trying to write mathematical computations. So the major purpose of Taoist breathing is not to get more oxygen in your system. You get that anyway. That's like the Booby Prize. It's going to happen no matter how you breathe, because you're going to breathe or you're going to be dead. So getting oxygen into your system will happen. But now the next question becomes, how much? Even the best yogis don't start out normally breathing their way all the time. But because they have practiced specific breathing techniques until they got it, they got their body where it would do it all the time, then that's how it happens. Same way when you're doing Taoist breathing. You're practicing until your body understands how to breathe. The other good thing about upper back breathing is that it's a habit. If it's a habit, that actually causes a small amount of movement to happen in the vertebra of your upper back and your neck. Now, the overwhelming complaint of the American population and European as well is neck, back, or shoulder pain. When you breathe with the upper back, it causes your shoulder blades to move a slight amount. The pressure of breathing with your upper back actually goes around your shoulder blades and causes them, gives them the environment to move better. Upper back breathing also stretches the muscles that are coming down from your trapezius muscle in your shoulders. Now, when they're talking about back, they're really talking about lower back. But if you talk about neck pain, you're talking about upper back pain. Because when the vertebra of the upper part of your neck start having problems, it's only a matter of time before they start shutting down the vertebra in your neck, and you start getting problems with neck pain. So breathing with the upper back starts opening up the vertebra of your spine. Now, if we talk about breathing in general, the classic Taoist position was, if someone cannot comfortably have a 10-second breath, 5 seconds inhale and 5 seconds exhale, they felt really sorry for them. It's the same way if you see a dog crippled in the street, you feel sorry for the dog because somehow you have lost a primary thing that you got from being a human being. So they try to have at least a 10-second breath. But they found two other things. If you practice breathing until you get to a point where you can comfortably do a 30-second breath, there is a major physiological change that happens in your body. If you can get it to where you can do an 8-minute breath, there is a massive physiological change that can happen in your body. And all the longevity regeneration techniques in Taoism, that is one of the things they do. They get you up to an 8-minute breath. And don't think it happens that quickly, but with practice, you can do it. So in order to have a really deep, full breath, it's not going to happen just from your lungs. The blood circulation in your entire body has to upgrade to make it possible. Bruce noticed this because when he went longer, breathing longer, he could actually feel how the breath was making his legs work better. And that made his lungs work better. So the same things, these same things are in Taoist breathing also. I'm not saying how long or short your breath should be, but I think that doing something better than a 4 to 6 minute breath is probably a good idea if you can. And if you're doing the movements of God's playing in the clouds in a very smooth, easy fashion, you could easily end up with a 4 to 6 minute breath. So your breathing capacity can completely change. Another thing, although the breathing that benefits your brain is actually upper lung breathing, which is different from upper back breathing. It's beyond that. With the very top of the bag, that actually affects your brain. But upper back breathing is actually kick-starting that to a certain degree, because your back actually moving starts your subclavian action going. And that's the action that gets into your brain. This also causes a greater amount of breath oxygen to go into the brain. So that's part of why you do upper back breathing. So we're going to do a breathing practice, which you can certainly do seated, Bill.
Okay.
Unless you want to stand. I do recommend that Adam and Joanne stand, however.
Okay.
Maybe I'll stand too. Maybe I'll
Yep.
maybe I'll just, all right. Oh, there. So stepping out. And taking that moment to first just feel yourself land in the spot you're standing. Feel that your width is comfortable. And that you're softening and connecting down to the earth. Have a sense of the whole body beginning to open. As you get your mind into your body. And in this first stage, just begin to feel the energy and your mind sinking through your body. And if you feel any congestion or contraction or really a blockage, then dissolve it. Ice to water, water to gas. And you would want to do this until you have a sense, both the mind and the energy and the breath sinking through the body. And then begin to extend your mind through your body, which means that you begin to have the ability to move the breath and the chi in your body, and the blood and other fluids in the body. Release the nervous system. As you breathe, begin to be very aware of the action of your diaphragm. Feel it moving down and up all the way around the body. And feeling, of course, your belly responding to that. Expanding on your inhale. And contracting on your exhale. And allow your diaphragm to cause that to happen. Don't tense up the abdomen. Don't push it out or pull it in. Then begin to feel the breath on your sides. First at the level of the midriff. And be sure you're keeping the midriff open. Feel the breath moving up your sides. That second level underneath the lower ribs. And if you can, right on up into your armpits. Then be aware of your sides and your belly breathing moving together. Equally in proportion. And be aware of your lower back expanding. Really thinking about that area down as low as your sacrum, below the waist. Then going into kidney breathing. For a few moments, focusing principally on just allowing the kidneys to open and close, to take in fresh energy. And release that which it cannot use. Try to be aware of not allowing tension to develop. Stay relaxed. Feel all those parts working together. Diaphragm and belly, sides, lower back and kidneys, all breathing together. And now I want you to just bring the arms forward on roughly a 45-degree angle. Make sure you keep the armpits open. This can just help you feel the upper back breathing a little more easily. Keeping your chest relaxed. If you can begin to really feel that upper back breathing. Feel it expanding and contracting. Notice that you're breathing with all the parts, everything working together, except for the chest, which is relaxed. Dropping a bit, but not expanding. And let your arms relax back to the sides and see if you can keep that upper back breathing going. And then relax. Probably sit down for a minute. So, could you feel your upper back moving?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Could you feel everything moving together?
I did.
But yes.
Yep. Oh, we all did. Yeah.
I think I felt everything moving. I don't know about moving together. They seem to be
Mm.
all moving at the same time, but not kind of integrated.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, I think keep kind of mentally going through the checklist to make sure that they were all moving and
Yeah.
that pieces weren't being left behind. And I found, I mean, maybe it's just my particular upper back is very stiff. So when focusing on the upper back, it felt like there was not as much air moving. But I think that's probably because not doing this very much and
Yeah.
the muscles being very, very tense and stiff there, you know, so.
Yep.
A lot of dissolving that needs to get done.
This really takes some practice.
Yeah.
This is not, it's not necessarily easy
Yeah.
by any means.
You know, I found it interesting, because usually if you take a deep breath with your chest, you can feel a lot of air moving, but you can't really feel the lungs move.
Hmm.
And with this, I found I could really get a sense of the lungs inside the body moving.
Mhm.
And it's almost like they never really move that well, so they feel stiff.
What was the last thing you said, Adam? So what?
So like the lungs themselves almost feel stiff moving around.
You know, as you're saying that, I was, breathing with my chest and then with my back. And I was thinking, you know, part of it is our mouth is in the front, right? So, kind of like, oh yeah, there's that way, right? Like, but to do it the other way, it is a very different feeling.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think for me, what threw me a little bit, I find this not overwhelmingly challenging. I find it really kind of something I really want to work at, right? And I feel like I am. But when you said with the side breathing, feel it up to your armpits, which are higher than our kidneys, you know, because to some degree I'd been kind of moving it all the way up at this kind of like cylindrically at the same time. And then that's a bit of a difference in terms of thinking about, because especially because you were kind of moving us step by step of kind of like the side going all the way up and then into the kidneys and then into the back. But you know, I felt an energy flow. I felt the saliva flow pretty quickly, you know? So I felt like I was really doing the right thing, I guess, or moving in that direction.
I'm moving in the right direction.
Put it that way.
Yeah, it's, you know, I separate those three parts of the sides just to remind us, but they all move together.
Yeah. It's not a 1 step, 2 step, 3 step.
No, it's not. One, two.
Oh, it's painful.
Yeah. No, it's all together. Everything together.
But there is it's together, but it's also progressive.
Hmm. And
I mean, the top of your back doesn't start first. Right? The diaphragm, you know, yeah,
well, yeah,
am I, yes,
obviously the diaphragm is the mover here.
yeah,
But the upper back begins along with everything else.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, it's not that it goes in a sequential flow
Right.
through your body, it's all at once. So that eventually your torso is, if this is the front and this is the back, basically it's doing this,
right,
but it's all happening and everything is expanding and contracting.
Yeah, I can feel the togetherness about that, you know, from the sides and the kidneys, and I can feel my shoulder blades opening and closing, you know, at the same time, and even a little sensation of something probably on top of the lungs. We can't identify it. But I don't always feel the flow of the energy going up. You know, I can feel it at the kidneys and at the shoulder blades, but almost what Joanne was just saying, there's a space between the kidneys and the armpits where I don't always feel it moving. Even though I can sense my shoulders opening and closing, you know, so it's probably lack of practice. And yeah, that's what I have to offer. So,
So what I would say is not to recognize that there really is no space between the side and the upper back,
yeah,
because they really actually connect.
yes, I'm aware of that. It's just that I have a sense of things moving, but not every place. I don't know how to explain this. So
Well,
I can feel it moving from my abdomen to my sides to my kidneys. I can feel the shoulder blades opening and closing at the same time, but I don't feel the movement up the middle of my back so much.
mhm. So actually, let me finish what I wanted to give you about this, which kind of addresses what you're talking about.
Okay.
Remember, the lungs are mindless. They don't do anything. The breath to fill your lungs is going to come from your diaphragm. It's going to come from your belly, and your kidneys are going to be rising up. But the thing that is important is that they actually have to inflate and deflate. You will probably need initially to just spend some time getting your upper back to breathe. But then the point is to have your belly, your diaphragm, your liver, your kidneys, in other words, front, back, and side breathing going strong. And then you want your upper back breathing to be in direct proportion to them, so that when you breathe from your belly, your upper back will breathe without it being a big deal. But in order to do that, you first are going to have to get your upper back, your upper lungs to breathe. You can figure out your own rhythm. Usually it's your choice whether you want to inhale when you bring your hands in, or you want to exhale when you bring your hands out. And the fact that, oh, and you can't really say that doing it either way is dramatically better than the other. The fact of the matter is that that at certain times doing it one way or the other will feel more natural. And whichever of the two ways you choose, it's always coordinated with your openings and closings. This is not saying that an inhale is an opening and an exhale is not an opening. You can do it either way. But the biggest thing is to see how that is enabling your spine and your joints to go into direct rhythm with your breathing. That actually is what is more critical, is the more critical issue. You may find this is a bit challenging, but if you get this, it is wonderful. So I thought that important for you to be aware that, well, while I may teach you initially a possible way of relating the breath and opening and closing, that it can go in reverse. And sometimes in practice, you will discover that what David has said doesn't work best for you, that the opposite way works better. And that's just fine. Don't agonize over that. So.
You know, one observation I have as we're talking about this is that when we talk about other aspects of the practice, then we get up and practice it. But as we talk about this, we're always breathing.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, well, I'll practice that later, right? And so that, I think that just encourages, I mean, I do try to remember to practice this breathing, you know, at a stop sign in the car, kind of like when you're doing the dishes, whatever, right? Like just
Yeah.
kind of really to, when you can be more mindful of it. So I think that's just it's really a different element.
Yep.
Because of that. I'm not sure element's the right word, but you know what I mean.
Yes, I do. And that's, no, and that's a particularly good point, because breathing is something you can practice all the time. Nobody knows what you're doing except breathing. How you're breathing is not particularly obvious. So right. Whenever you have a moment, breathe. I highly recommend it. So what I would like you to do is to do a flow, doing 10 repetitions of each posture, and do it not worrying so much about how you're doing the movement, but how you're breathing in the movement.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So, how was your breathing?
It was good. It felt difficult to keep the upper back moving, but it felt easy to maintain focus on it. And it almost felt like by focusing on the breathing, you could really feel the different areas of the body that did tense up or contract as you were going through the movements.
Good.
And you could focus on trying to let go of those areas just to get them flowing smoothly.
Good.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, along those lines, what I felt kind of revealing is that sometimes by the time I get to 4, my back feels stiff, but with the breathing, it didn't at all.
Good.
It's like da da da.
Right. All right.
It's like,
Good.
oh my goodness. So so particularly I noticed that in 4 and 5, some of that might be, yeah, because it's just you're halfway through it, but now I'll go back and kind of notice that in the first 3 as well.
Good.
So it was definitely loose. Yes, I definitely feel that.
That's great. Yeah. Bill, you were impressive, I have to say.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the time we spent this morning focusing on the breathing really did carry over, and in an interesting way seemed to inform all parts of it, so that I felt it easier to connect with the sphericalness, just I think because of the heavy focus on breathing this morning.
Cool. Good.
The other thing I noticed, I'm sorry, are you done?
Nope.
Bill,
Yeah,
I don't want to
yeah,
interrupt.
yeah.
Is that at times I've been challenged about when we're breathing in and when we're breathing out in terms of the movement, but it all made more sense today.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Like, oh, of course, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, this is, yeah.
Good. Well, so spending some time on breathing is
Yeah.
not a bad thing.
No.
Duh.
I'm going to give each one of you just one note here.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
Bill, I think that the main thing I felt for you was to keep looking for how you can rotate the elbows downward sooner.
Okay.
Basically, you've got the movements of 4 looks pretty good today. So that was good, a good correction there. But that's one element that it seemed to me you really need to focus on.
Okay, thank you.
Joanne, for you, you still have an issue with your hands going into the center instead of staying on the sidelines.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That was happening quite a bit for you. And at the same time, you're very good about the spacing of your elbows and keeping the armpits open. I didn't feel like there was an issue about that at all.
Okay.
It just had to do with the rotation outward in the
Yeah.
forearms, so that while still maintaining that space,
Yeah.
on those postures where you need to, you keep that connection to the sidelines.
To the side channels. Yeah.
Yep. And for you, you were much better about your quad squats. I felt like in 5 and 6, you still needed to perhaps make the whole movement smaller, because it still looked like you were trying to do a quad squat.
okay.
Focusing instead on the C curve of the spine,
Yeah. Okay.
and not letting yourself begin to bend forward.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, the head goes up and out, but the whole body doesn't go forward.
Mhm. Okay.
So, good. Well, that was, I'm very pleased with what you guys are doing. Looking good.
Okay.
So, last minute
Good.
questions?
Nope.
Okay. Well, have fun playing with this, and I'll
Yeah.
look forward to seeing you next week.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good.
David.
Thank you.
Keep getting better, Bill.
Thank you.
Anyway.
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
Good.
The goal, that's the plan. Right, I'll be right back. Need a quick
Okay.
break.
Did you hear that? He had 7 hernias?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's, I can't imagine, you know,
No, neither can I.
wow.
Ooh. Ugh, excuse me.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, you know,
Yeah.
what else is going on inside you that you don't know about? So I'm going Friday to see a surgeon.
Oh, you are?
I have a lipoma in my gut. I've had it for a long time.
Oh, what?
A lipoma,
Oh,
basically a ball of fat.
yeah.
But see if I can get that removed.
Mm.
Because I kind of wonder if a lot of the lower back stuff that I've been having is all related,
Yep,
because it, you know, it's pushing on the muscles of the hip.
yeah.
So when they contract, you're not getting they're not contracting the way they should, right? Like you're not
Yeah.
getting a smooth line,
Yep.
you know? So I wonder if that's kind of really like pulling and distorting the whole kinetic chain.
Mm.
Just a thought. We'll see what he says about taking it out, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's a complicated thing. If you can just like, you know, cut, basically scoop it out, because it's not deep,
Uh-huh.
but
Huh.
we'll see.
That interesting.
Yeah, it's been there for years. It's, you know, been a challenge to get any follow-up on it.
Huh.
And I finally just got an image of it because I got that abdominal CAT scan, and it happened to like
Ah,
just be like high enough that it was visible on the CAT scan.
yeah.
And because previously I tried to get a CAT scan just for it, and insurance wouldn't authorize it. But now that I have it, now that I have the image,
Yeah.
you know, I'm kind of good to go. It's a type of thing that's usually covered for insurance.
Yeah.
So, but typical, you know.
No, we won't diagnose it, but if we actually accidentally.
Well, right.
Uh,
It's like the same type of baloney when you get like a colonoscopy, right? Like if we find nothing, you know, it's covered, right?
yeah.
Because it's just diagnostic. But if we find anything, well, then it was a treatment, and you know, now you got to pay like an insurance copay, and you know, it's
There's a whole discussion on that on an NPR show last week. People
Oh, really?
calling in with all of these kind of horror stories of
Oh,
like thinking things would get covered and suddenly they don't, because they switch categories.
yeah.
You're getting thousands of dollars of a bill.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
ouch.
Yeah, ouch.
exactly.
Wow. Well,
Well,
so how's your woo style?
Probably unchanged. I haven't had a lot of practice on it the last week. It's been pretty busy, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I was able to actually do paragraph 3 several times this week. It's interesting. I find paragraph 1, I physically, just with my knees and standing on one leg, paragraph 1 is easier. Paragraph 2 is more challenging. There's more on one leg kinds of just some of those movements, you know. Not down with the incense very easily, for example, you know, some of those things are very challenging. I had not done paragraph 3 in a long time, and it was like, oh, wait a minute, how do I get into this again? So I did have to go back to like, oh yeah, this is how you get into Repulse Monkey. But it's like, whoops. It all came back. It's been a long time, but it all came back. Yeah, maybe a little bit of what I said at the beginning of the last class is just because we were focusing on the C curve. I mean, I find that that's on one hand easy for me, but then in a few of the postures, I was like, well, wait a minute, am I too far back or almost too far, or lowering my chin too much rather than crane's neck? So I think that it was yeah, I feel like I made more observations of places I need to keep working on. I did it this morning before class and then in class. So I'm not sure I can do it again now after those 3 times on my knees, but I'm happy to be back able to practice the flow.
Yeah, yeah. So do you have specific postures where you had an issue about the action of the spine?
I mean, I should have probably noted them more. Some are obviously clearer than others. I think some are feel so subtle.
And that's
that it's, you know, yeah, or like in cloud hands, and you know, there's a few places where, so a few places it's really clear, a few places it's super subtle, a few places where it has a quicker pace or a slower pace. So I don't, yeah, maybe this week I should jot those down. I mean, it was more like those observations, not like, oh, I can't remember how to do this one.
Yeah.
But there are a few, there definitely are some. Wait a minute, what am I doing again here? I mean, I know what I'm doing, but I'm not sure, you know,
Yeah.
about crane's neck there. I can do that this week though, note that.
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the things that you discover in the form is that often the C curve is extremely subtle.
Yeah.
It's not a big movement. It
Right.
can be really, and yet if it's present, it makes a energetic difference.
Yeah.
And this goes along with gradually becoming aware, particularly in the form, that when we talk about opening and closing, that there may be very little physical movement in an opening or a closing. There can be a huge internal movement, but there isn't necessarily a big one. And I think that's important to recognize that, because while when you're learning about opening and closing, we work on it being a fairly large movement. It can be just, you know, it doesn't have to be huge.
David, is that more in the Wu style than in any
Yeah.
of the others?
Yes, absolutely. Although I suppose if you develop any, probably not true of Chen, but any of the other styles, if you actually took them to the highest level,
Yeah,
they probably would reach that too. But there is more of a tendency in that direction built into the form, I think, in the Wu than there is in the other styles.
Yeah, I understand. Yep.
So, and obviously the breathing is important for that too, but that you already know. So, but
right. Yeah, no, it is. It is where the God's class enriches this class in that, just and vice versa.
Yeah,
because
works both ways. Because for instance, I think recognizing that the subtlety of the Wu style in a way is where postures 5 and 6 are going.
Uh-huh.
Whereas we tend to make everything the same,
Mhm.
but 5 and 6 are another world. They're a real different part of this movement.
Mhm, mhm.
And they are certainly, because of the size of the movement and the internal intentions of the movement, much more, to my mind, they are really related to the Wu style.
Mhm. Yep.
Maybe hard to see at this point, but.
Mm.
So,
Right. I mean, yeah.
yeah,
I think that's where, yeah, I mean, this may be too obvious, but yeah, that's where having done Wu style, there's the understanding, once you get what you're supposed to be doing physically, you know, the understanding of the inner workings.
yeah. Yeah, I think there's, I think the two complement each other, is my feeling. Even though they come from two different trainings, which is kind of interesting.
Right. There's somewhat a universality about all of this, though.
Isn't that the truth? Well,
Yeah.
at least there should be.
Or there should, there should be.
I see some people sometimes and I wonder about that.
Well, I think there are people who can't see the big picture at all anyway, or understand the foundations anyway.
You're absolutely right.
So why should they in this, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I will, I'll just mention it to you guys, but I'll send them. I realize I should send the link out to everybody. The Master Joe Birthday Festival in July is going to be on Zoom again this year.
Ah, okay.
And it's 2 full days of workshops, 9 to 5. So there's some really good things to see there. I'll
So we could plug into different ones
yep.
throughout the weekend. What weekend is it? Do you know offhand?
The was it 9th and 10th maybe?
There is a 9th and 10th.
Yeah.
No, it's good if it's a weekend. Yeah, if you'd said that and it was a Tuesday, Wednesday, it wouldn't work. But yes, okay.
Nope. No, it's on
9th
the
and 10th.
weekend.
It's on the weekend. I'm actually around that weekend. Good. Okay. Yeah, send that.
I'll send that out. Actually, I'll send it to everybody, but
Yeah.
you guys might be particularly interested.
Yeah, I
Okay.
find that while I'm really happy that we're doing both of these. I find, yeah, I do get refreshed and energized by additional workshops.
Yeah.
I haven't done one of those in a long time. I guess you haven't done one in a long time. I've done Rick and other classes, right? So this would be good.
So good. Any other thoughts or questions at the moment?
I don't think so, dude.
Okay.
It's just, I think for Adam and I, it's a matter of finding enough time to practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have busy lives.
You do. You do.
So,
Well,
So,
may your lives become quieter.
well, and I think the lesson is, it's kind of like with what I said before about my back feeling better, understanding with the breathing, it's like in the long run, I'll have more energy during the day doing this,
Yeah.
right? Instead of just diving right into the work.
Yeah.
that's
That's
good
right.
point.
And we know that intellectually is getting
Yep.
it into the pattern of our lives, and
Yeah.
sometimes that gets disrupted, but as much as possible. Yeah.
you know, they're both retired now, but Shelley and Carol used to talk about that a lot.
Right, yeah, school teachers, people had to be at work at a certain time early, yeah, right,
And they would say even when they just did a little bit,
Mhm,
that it made a difference in the day.
mm.
right.
So yeah, I think it's a good thing to try to incorporate when you can.
Yep,
Definitely.
Good,
no, definitely. All right, very good.
hang in.
Great class.
We'll
Thank you.
See you next week.
See you
Sounds
next.
good. See you next
Yeah,
week.
all right.
David.
Bye-bye.
Take
Good
care.
seeing you, Jordan.
Bye-bye, you too, Evan.